Hey, how you guys doing? My name is Nick. I'm calling. I'm a new listener. By the way, what you guys are doing is great. I recently came across it, and I love the podcast. My story begins like this. About the summer of, I do believe, '05. At the time, I was living with my best friend. This happened to happen at night where he lives. We live in the city of Los Angeles, right outside of Los Angeles. And it's a pretty packed city, you know. So we're not out in the woods or anything like that. My friend had about 8-foot an iron fence, okay, all around the house. So this one night, I do believe it's a Friday night, and we're at the house, and we're getting ready to go out to some type of party or whatever. No one's there. He lived with only his mom. Nobody's there. His mom's out and doing something. I do believe it was late. We were going out to this party really late. It was about 11, 12 o'clock. Matter of fact, no, it was exactly 12. What happened, it happened exactly at 12 o'clock because he had this big old stand-up clock that rang at midnight. And I remember because this is what happened. So we're in the living room on our cell phones talking to whoever. He's on one couch, I'm on the other couch. And outside, he has sensor lights. Now, keep in mind, I said that around this whole house is 8-foot iron fence. The sensor light goes off. And he's on the phone, and I'm looking at my phone. And we just happen to look up. Now, through the blinds, we see the shadow of a man just standing there. Now, the shadow was on the floor, and we look up, we see it, and we look at each other, and immediately we get up. We hop up off the couches. We go to it. We see it. I literally see it run. And we're thinking, all right, somebody's in the yard. So what? Right when we hit the door, and I'm talking, this is a matter of seconds, there was nobody there. And I remember that. I'll always remember that to this day. It was like the weirdest thing I've ever seen. There was no explanation for it. There was nobody in the yard. There was no way, if there was somebody in the yard, they could have scaled that iron fence. And recently I came across the shadow people, and that topic is a totally different story, but I don't know what it was. I didn't feel like scared by it or evil presence or anything like that. It was just the weirdest, unexplainable thing that ever happened. We've talked about it. We went, we looked around, we looked down the street right after. There was just nobody there. And this shadow was like a man, a tall man. And yeah, so that's my story. I don't know if anybody else has ever had similar experiences, but yeah. Thank you guys. Keep up the good work, and I hope to hear my story. Take it easy.
Well, you know, that's a thing. I think a lot of people have had a similar experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot
really
of people who I've seen one. You guys have both seen one. And I don't know what they are. It's like, what's the purpose of that? And he's right. Like, if you see somebody and you've got and I have a 6-foot privacy fence, you can't just jump 6 foot. I can't imagine 8. You know, you'd have to climb up on something. You would catch him in the act.
Right, exactly. Right. And that's why I think sometimes there's a lot of stuff we can't answer. So we try to, but we don't have the answers.
I would like to be able to have the answers.
Maybe one day we will, but maybe we're never meant to really totally understand any of this. As far as we've come in paranormal research and all that kind of stuff, we still can't say that whatever we're communicating with is exactly what we think it is. It's just impossible.
And are you really getting that? You know, and I do think a lot of times in investigations, especially like you see people post on different pages like, look at this picture. Do you see it? And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Or do you hear it? And then they'll be like, they say fever. Well, now that you've said that, that's what I'm hearing. I don't think I would have. So I know we can all be influenced. to also see kind of, oh, yeah, I hear that now, or I see that. But it's like, I think all these people are spending all this effort, and I would love to know, like, somebody get something definitive. That would be awesome.
What would it take for you, Carol?
I don't know.
Because I think for each person, it's different. You look at religion and faith and stuff like that. Some people are just very willing to accept and believe without necessarily always truly being shown. And that's not taking anything away from religion, but we're like that in our life. We go to school, whatever the person at the front of the classroom tells us, we believe. We go to church, whatever the person at the front of the church tells us, we believe. So in your instance, did you hear them say fever? Well, now that you say it, I hear it, but I didn't hear it myself. And I think that, we could all do better in life if we all did a little more thinking for ourselves, critical thinking.
Well, that applies in a number of different areas.
Absolutely. But and certainly in paranormal too. Like we can all have different ideas of what these things are.
And it does seem, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lisa.
No, I was just going to say, I would say that seeing video or film or something of that can help.
Sure.
But I also think that maybe once you see it in person, when you know that there's no way for somebody to have manipulated,
right?
Yeah, video or whatever, that might make a difference. So maybe for Carol to believe of shadow people, she'd need to see one.
And I have, and I don't know what it was. And that's why it would be awesome if somebody would say, here's exactly what you saw that day. And here's why that happened.
Do you think we're ever going to get to that in our lifetime? No. Although, I mean, when you think about it, in the past 50 years, technology has jumped so high from where it was, say, in 1976, that maybe technology will finally get it where we can see between dimensions or
But even then, I don't think people would ever agree. There's a lot of people waiting for Jesus to come back. And I'm telling you, if he showed up tomorrow, they wouldn't agree it's him. There would be arguments. There would be fights over it. It's like, he's not. We're still waiting for the real one. It's like, what would he have to do to convince people I am the real one? Because no matter what he'd do, they'd be like, David Copperfield did that. He made the Statue of Liberty disappear. What have you got? And he'd be like, I can turn water into wine, please.
Please.
So can we.
Circle turns water into something delicious all the time. There's stuff that can happen.
Yeah. So I just think it would be tough for anybody to, nobody's ever going to agree. Don't you think that with paranormal investigations? Because a lot of people, there are a lot of people that could be working together. And some do. There are groups that do. And there are groups that want to know what other people have discovered at various locations. But there's also kind of
there's a lot of shade. There's a lot of shade out there in the paranormal world. Yes. And I'll be honest, I have some of my own. Like, I know what I kind of believe. And it's not that if somebody else has different thoughts or opinions that I'm not willing to listen. But the person who says something is a ghost and it's this person from this year and blah, blah, blah. I have a hard time with that. We just don't know.